Welcome to another edition of the Mizzou Minute. I'm Tod Palmer, beat writer for the Kansas City Star, here at Milan Puskar Stadium in Morgantown, West Virginia, where the Tigers fell 26-11 today against the Mountaineers. And really, it's hard to know what to make of this game for the Tigers because on the one hand, I mean, you kind of came into this game thinking, okay, well, the offense has its issues, the defense is pretty good. It didn't really play out quite that simply today. I mean, for starters, the offense put up 462 yards, which is the most it's put up since mid-November 2014. So that's a span of about 15 games since the Tigers have had that kind of production. Now, it didn't translate to points. They only end up with 11 points, but there were a couple missed field goals in there. Certainly, the toughest pill to swallow was probably when Marcel Frazier recovers a fumble at the 7-yard line and Missouri comes away with nothing. They had 2 run plays get stuffed. Drew Lock threw a fade to Justin Smith that was incomplete, and then freshman kicker Tucker McCann whiffed on a 24-yard field goal, and that was right before halftime. It was 13-3, and when Missouri got the ball at that point after that turnover, it really felt like a potential game-changing moment because Missouri really could have been down by a lot more than 13-3, and all of a sudden you're thinking, man, if they can punch this in from the 7-yard line and make it 13-10, boy, we got a game. Even if they could just get a field goal and get within a touchdown, psychologically it was going to be a big advantage, But at the time, you're kind of thinking the 3 points is guaranteed. Well, it turned out it wasn't. Missouri ends up down 13-3. That was the score at halftime. West Virginia came out in the second half, and what was perhaps the most shocking thing of all today was the way that West Virginia just ran the ball right down Missouri's throat, especially there in the third quarter. They went on, I believe it was a 7-play, 80-yard march to open the third quarter. That touchdown made it 20-3, and the game was pretty much over at that point. It was going to be hard for this offense, the way things were going, to get more than 20 points in this game, and obviously that proved to be the case as they only ended up scoring 11. Having said that, Drew Lock completed 23 passes, which is a career high. Of course, he had 51 attempts. There were a few drops in there, but every quarterback has a few drops, especially if you attempt 51 passes in a game. He had 280 yards, which again is a career high. He didn't have any turnovers. He did have an interception late in the game to Chris Black and also threw a 2-point conversion pass to Jamon Moore. It was with a minute 49 seconds left. The game was pretty much decided, but still, it was a nice way for Missouri to end that game, and maybe they will have some confidence. They get Eastern Michigan next Saturday at home. Obviously, that should be a winnable game, you would think, but Eastern Michigan did put up 61 points today, and given what we saw, I mean, this is a defense that hadn't given up more than 369 yards in any game except for the Mississippi State game, which if you remember last year, that game was coming off a bye. There had been the Matty Mock drama where he is reinstated and then resuspended. It was a Thursday night game played in a monsoon on ESPN against a very good Mississippi State team. Missouri gave up 430 yards in that game. They didn't give up more than 369 in any other game. Today they gave up 494 yards. It was just it was kind of surreal to watch because we've been so used to this defense being so excellent, and I don't think it was as simple as Kentrell Brothers isn't there, Ian Simon isn't there, Kenya Davis isn't there, Kenya Dennis isn't there. I don't think it had to do with personnel. I think it had to do with maybe a little bit of a lack of focus. We saw several missed assignments. We saw several missed tackles. Missouri is using the strong side linebacker and even the weak side linebacker in some instances more in pass coverage. Those guys did fine when the play was in front of them. When they had to chase a wide receiver coming out of the slot, they had a lot more difficult time. And so we'll see whether Missouri can make some adjustments there, shore up its gap integrity, figure out how to play with those linebackers a little bit better. But kind of an uneven performance today, and really it's kind of hard to know, and maybe we won't know for a month or how good this Missouri team is. I mean, it may take the Eastern Michigan game, the Georgia game, and the Delaware State game to really get a decent feel on this team, even the LSU game, and then by the bye week we can start to figure out, okay, is this team, going to have a chance to make a bowl run, or we might have to kind of reevaluate what the measuring stick is there. But overall, bit of a disappointing day for Barry Odom's first go as the Tigers football coach, but He didn't seem like a defeated man by any stretch of the imagination. I think it was a good learning opportunity in a lot of ways, and there were some positives to take from it. So keep going to kansascity.com. You can read my game story and some game notes from today. And, of course, we'll have more coverage of Missouri football throughout the week at kansascity.com.